This is Greg Capullo here at New York City Comic Con 2012. We're about to roll with the Joker.
The Joker to me is sort of the quintessential villain because my favorite villains in monster movies or in literature are characters that make you look at the things you don't want to look at in yourself and challenge you to disprove those things as true. So the Joker is scary to me because he makes you afraid of yourself.
Who's Joker? Joker is... that's a question that shouldn't be answered. I think as soon as you start defining him, he loses his power. He's whatever he needs to be at a particular time. That's what Joker is.
In our story, in Death of the Family, he thinks of himself as Batman's greatest ally, you know, but what he represents, I think, is Batman's absolute greatest challenge.
He's a rabid dog. He's crazy.
You know, the things I write and send to Greg Capullo, I actually apologized to him when I sent him issue 16 the other day, because I was like, there's some really horrible stuff, really horrible things. I'm not even going to get into it, but like horrible stuff.
It's fear, you know? Everyone's fears, their deepest fears, he brings them to the surface and makes you face them, which is pretty uncomfortable.
Literally, it really creeps me out writing him sometimes late at night, and I'll be writing how he's saying to Bruce or saying to Gordon how he lies under his bed at night and stuff, and you actually sort of look behind you, you know, creeped out.
More than any other villain, I think you can change him with the times, a lot like Batman. So, you know, he's open for interpretation, and we're starting to see a lot of that now, which is pretty interesting because you're losing elements of the character and gaining new facets.
And the reason the Joker story came about was because I was looking at Batman and the family and thinking, I have young children, and how frightening the world becomes all of a sudden. The things you never thought twice about are suddenly so threatening, and it makes you feel old in some ways. Not old like, oh, I'm so old I can't go out at night. Old like the world is scary. And who would come back and see that and think, oh, you've grown weak, I'm going to just fix it for you by killing them, is the Joker. So he represents to me this horrifying sort of nightmarish challenge to Batman all the time in that way, but to anybody he's up against. Everyone's favorite villains are the ones that really put your favorite heroes through the ringer, you know, and make them look at themselves. And I think Joker, the reason he's so wonderful is that's who he is at his core.
I think the Joker without the Joker look may or may not be as successful as he is. I think it's a combined thing, much like it is with Batman. He's just got it all going on.
Well, he looks cool. I think that's one of the reasons people like the way he looks. And people generally, I find, they like the eviler the character, the better. You know, it's a way to live vicariously.
What would I do if I ever ran into the Joker?
I'd tell him if he spared my life, I would find a good plastic surgeon and get his face reattached.
Marketing approach.
I guess I would ask him, like, hey, what's the deal with your face, man?
I think part of what makes him so wonderful is the plurality of the character in terms of his origin. And in that way, I think there's so many different versions of him in the present.
One really good thing about that character is that many different writers can write him on, you know? There's a lot of really great Joker stories.
My favorites are the Return of the Joker and Batman Beyond, but also I would say The Killing Joke obviously is one of the greatest stories of the Joker ever, and Dark Knight Returns, how he's portrayed there, and in Grant's stuff as well.
I would have to go with his first appearance, the first Joker story of all time.
I always go to my Bible, Dark Knight Returns. I know, like I said, there's a zillion of them out there, and everybody will have their opinion, but that's what turned me on. I love that.
Well, you know, The Killing Joke's really great. Some of the stuff that Steve Englehart did I thought was really cool. You know, definitely Denny's stuff.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a good Joker story, ever.
It's because he's got Batman to make those stories great.
I'd like to thank you for taking this con away from the con moment. Stay tuned for more coverage exclusively at DCComics.com.